Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Samuel Loomis, newly awakened, or Samuel Durbridge. This is actually the Samuel Durbridge channel that this is on, but I'm letting you know of both channels because I will be posting meditation techniques and spiritual awarenesses that are simplified. That many people believe in meditation ideas. At the same time, no one is really doing anything to really solve the manifestation situation. Like everybody has different ideas, and it doesn't mean that they don't work. It's just everybody is expecting their idea of the law of attraction or energy focus to work a certain pattern based on your thoughts and feelings. But no one is realizing that a lot of the controls of this teaching is connected to secret syndicates and certain controls for funds and money, suppressing the full ability that is freely able to be tapped in by all of us. We all can tap into this ability, and they don't, someone or some people don't want that to happen that way. They want it to happen their way and their timing of control, or within their belief system control of what they believe their God wants, and those who they say really is the gods or God or whatever it is they are defining it as. And it's more of a propaganda control of the syndicates and secret government agencies that feel that they want life and creation to go their direction of path rather than our own. So what it is we have this connection belief that we're told, where you ask, you have belief, and you receive. That's the science understanding, but energy water science confirms it too. And so does all the brain thought science studies and NASA studies that actually were just stuff that's been done here on this planet and wherever they've done the studies. Regardless whether we know where they've done the studies or not, they've done them. And what has happened is there is a lot of connection of doubt that they have put into our societies and belief systems and religion to only follow their way of belief, their way of idea, their way of what they say God is saying or what they say the scriptures are saying, that the scriptures have been altered many different times in ancient texts to control societies. And so what has happened is they also try to take out or go after those or target those or do tactical things. And they do it both ways. They get people to be attacked to get them to look in a certain area because they have had belief that that is the area that the attacks are coming from. So they do it to get you to know that it's coming from there, but then other people think that by them saying it's coming from there, it's a misdirection or it's not a misdirection. See, what they're doing is they're hiding things in plain sight. So they know that you know, so they acknowledge and get you to say, hey, this is from us here. But it also means that it may not be there that they're doing it from, but it also could be that they are. See, the thing is they want people to think that they're lying when they could be also telling the truth. And that's the thing that I recommend is all movies and all shows have some form of truth. It all may actually be true in some form or another. There are many different shows that I've noticed where there are other worlds within this world, other pocket dimensions or other dimensions within universe. And what it is there are kingdoms, and this is where I stumble upon a lot more. There are kingdoms within kingdoms. That's one of the biggest things that people don't necessarily want to acknowledge or understand. But yeah, there are kingdoms. There was a show called The 10th Kingdom. It didn't last very long. And some of the shows that don't last very long or get taken down really quickly has nothing to do with ratings. There are shows that have horrible ratings that have lasted for a very long time. So it's more about control of what they want the people to know, what they think the people can handle, or what they don't want them to understand. So they have the information told, and then they try to control the control because they're realizing they're giving too much intel that is too accurate. And it's getting people to think and be aware and tap into these portals that are within this realm, places where they're able to get to different worlds or different places that they don't want you and I to know about or to talk about. And so they mess with your neck, they mess with your focus, they mess with your ability to talk about it or bring it up. They want to take you out in any way they can. And so that's what they do. And so I ask you to start meditating for healing for my neck right now, or area, and start meditating for you and all of us, because they want this information to be hidden. They don't want it to be discussed. So anyway, what I'm going to go into is I'm going to go into chapter 13, and then I will give my ending statement, probably with this, but it's not going to be my ending statement. I have a lot more to say, more to bring up. So I have 3 more parts, and those 3 parts might be all one part, but I do feel that they need to be mentioned and said and brought up. So I'm realizing I'm at the end of my book recordings, and now I just need to get them all uploaded. And I was planning on doing that, and I know that it's necessary now. And it may take hours to do each one, but they're ready. They need to be processed and put together in an appropriate manner to get them all uploaded. So I told people I would get the recordings done by before March as best as possible. Well, right now it's Sunday, March 1st. So my last recording of the book chapter, I was able to get done before roughly the end of the first week of March. So I'm getting all that uploaded and put together. And as I tell my story, everybody else gets their stories to be told or uploaded. And a lot of those people that tell their stories, the bigwigs in the ET communities or HET communities or UFO community, whatever you want to call it, all of these awareness communities, they're all waking up to tell their story more. And some of them have more funding than I do, and they can actually go and tell something. I have no funding necessarily. I'm doing this on my own with the resources I have, and that's it. And that's just me using YouTube and using my phone and things and getting it out there before my story can't be told the way that it needs to be told now. And what I have learned that is huge information that I never understood before. Others knew and understood it, but I, being in the midst of it and being part of this controlled system and right where bases and other secret MK Ultra controlled syndicate religions and control system is, where they even have confirmed that they were doing testing for 5G. And I even noticed the testing and felt it even before they said it was active. I was noticing it personally. Then I also noticed other things that they are trying to get the coronavirus to be the cause of people's mental illnesses and health issues, when it has nothing to do necessarily with the corona. It has to do with your foods and things, and then trying to get you to get vaccines to pump nanotechs and things in you more, and to control and to kill those they want to kill, or just to control or reshape population. And what they're going to do is what they're trying to do is kind of take out who they want to take out, so that they can have the regime or the controls they really want, the people they know they want to control or be the next generation of controls, and to maybe repopulate or make hybrid, or only take out human and only have HETs left over, or whatever their true agendas are. There's multiple reasons, and I think there's multiple syndicates of human and HETs, and each one of them has their own agendas, and no one's really on the same page. I think they've made it a grudgingly alliance in some ways, and then they also are not really allianced. They're more of a horde style. If you've ever played World of Warcraft, there's the Alliance faction and then the Horde. That's basically what it is. And the problem is they're both kind of a combination of um, their belief of control, and neither side is really for us. The real side is those within those different groups. There is a combination balance, but there's not really a balance. What it is they are being told that there is, and they're missing the true way of creating a better world. And the way to do that is through your thoughts and creations as reality and coming together, using the tech that's there to help heal the world and help each other rather than harm one another, and to find ways to clean the air and create a better idea of life. Also, they don't need to be drilling for oil and things anymore. We don't need those resources. We can manifest things into being. We can create things. Water is our living source and creation of fuel. But we can find other ways and make density, fourth generation water, or become more for us in the manner that we're meant to. The natural resources of the natural foods and all of that was all that we really required to become more higher forms. They say that we have a long lifespan than we did before because of their chemical alterations. But what really has happened is the reason why we have been losing our lifespans, even in the past, we actually used to have species of us that had a lifespan of 1,000 years or more. And so some of them, they were at least 400 to 1,000 years. Our lifespan on Earth, our species, human species, can actually survive or thrive for 400 to 1,000 plus years. And we can actually ascend faster than that. The way that we do that is coming together and praying and meditating with each other. And Enoch was said to be one that brings that up. Why do you think they took that out of the scriptures and not talked about it? Because they're bringing up things like Nephilim and other giants and all the stuff that really has gone on that they don't really want us to see as a fact. They want us to think it's just pretend to control the population. But there are giants and Nephilim type of individuals among us, but they're not necessarily Nephilim. They're just HET, human extraterrestrial beings. Some of them come from different dimensional that can be seen as angels or as demons or whatever, and they are in that way of choice of being whatever they are for that realm. I don't want to define what and who or how they are. What we need to be smart about is be aware that we have power within us to heal and to heal each other through our thoughts, our feelings, and creation of reality. We can heal people's pains in their necks and their bodies and correct. And sometimes those pains are letting us know of something that's going on in our body or in our minds or awarenesses to block from something else that's trying to take us out. And so it's just more of just waking you up to a realization that, hey, you need to know about this, or you need to see this, you need to be aware of this, because these beings or these people are trying to control you in this or that way. And so there's so many different reasons, but the things that I know are going on or how we can actually correct them has been around in ancient texts and ancient wisdom for centuries. And it's always hinted in all the different belief systems and cultures. They're all pieces of it. And I stumbled upon it, and there are many people who are like, yep, but then they don't follow the idea that they're agreeing with me on. The idea of organic food eating, the non-genetic clean foods, but it's getting away from meats and dairies and actually going for the things. Chiropractics will confirm that to you. If you go into Hindu cultures, people that have extrasensory eyesight and abilities, they know you go for clean foods, such as going for vegetables and fruits and water. They never mention meats. Some of them try to say meats, but the meats and things are now controlled. Plus, if you're going for fruits and vegetables, you want to go for the ones that are not chemically sprayed upon or if they are from the sky, because you can't really avoid it completely in our society now because of their geoengineering control, you have to pray and barricade them or bless them so that they get protected from those things coming down on them. Doesn't mean that you make GMO foods to make their own, to grow their own pesticides within them. No, you want to make your own natural food. The natural foods can heal themselves. We can heal ourselves. We don't need to chemically make plants or genetically combine them, because what they're doing is, that's a trick. They're causing us to combine and make genetic modifications to foods, saying that that will block the pesticides coming down or other things or chemicals in the around, when it's really them just genetically putting new meat forms in, or synthetic meats that are DNA. Human aborted babies, things like that, are in the patents. You can look it up. It's public record now. They're even not hiding it as much anymore. They used to kill people over this, bringing those things up. But doctors have brought it up. And then after they brought it up, you notice that they brought it up like 8 years ago or 7 years. And then they didn't talk about anything anymore. They even wrote books and let people be aware of it. And then all of a sudden they dropped off of the face of the planet. Like they disappeared. No one knows where they went. It's because they knew what was going on. Now, I wondered about it myself, so I did my own research and started eating my own foods. I was going to die of cancer. They even said doing this will clean you and cure you. Dr. Mark Hyman kind of knows about this, and others, full-body doctors. But the blood doctors and others and chiropractors know you shouldn't really go for meat and dairy, because the meat and dairy are controlled, and we should care about the planet. So now people are talking about and showing videos of how they kill things, and we think it's okay for them to die, when all we were told to do from ancient texts is we don't need to eat meat necessarily. And so they try to get you in Disney and others to watch things like Lion King and things to go, oh, there's a circle of life. Maybe for animal connection, but we are genetically higher forms. We're supposed to go vibrational foods, and that's what they don't tell you because it's too religious sounding. But this has nothing to do necessarily with religion. It has to deal with the teachings of our past and our past ancestry connection to higher forms and energy beings. But even the animals are connected to them too. Everything on this planet and every planet that have life are connected. Even those that are said not to maybe have life, or we're not sure, do have some form. Maybe still do inside the planets. So there are possible inner world planets, and we're one of the worlds that have allowed outer world civilizations instead of the inner world. We have an on top of the world crust too. So that's what it is, and it's the tech of control. So what we want to do, or what we want to understand, is we are controlled by many species of beings, but there are good beings that are helping too. And some of these others that are controlling us are trying to get us to think that they kind of still care about us. So they're making us feel that we're not fully enslaved. They're giving us some freedoms, some feeling of we have help and, you know, disability income, and where you're being helped because of your health problems that they helped cause, that they could cure instantly, but they're not choosing to. And when you find cures, they don't want you to find cures because they want to keep you as a guinea pig when you get disability or when you get those certain things. And so that is what happens. And as I said that, I heard myself say, yep. I heard someone agree with me on it. And I have a lot of intuition now, or others being aware of what I'm saying. And so this information needs to be told. And I'm bringing it out because I know that the insight is really important. So what I'm about to read is chapter 13, the supposedly last chapter. And then I'll probably read the acknowledgments, which I've already did in the first information about this. And then I'm going to do probably four separate videos, probably a little more afterwards, but for this book connection. One will be to introduce the whole information that I just read and bring that up. And then there will be another recording that will talk about my dreams and experiences that I witnessed. I might do that first. And then, but then I'll bring up what is my purpose and what I'm about to read to you, so that will be the introduction to all the chapters. And then the third will be more of a focus on ideas of meditation and ideas, mostly bringing up my dream board idea of what my life is, how to kind of think and focus on your reality the way that you want. So it will be as long as I feel is needed. That might be an hour or more. It might be less. It might be 33 minutes. We'll see. But I'm going to go by what I feel is needed, and I'm going to make it feel real, and I'm going to make it feel more genuine and more heartfelt. And it's going to be kind of a focus that's generic. I'm not going to worry about how it is. I'm going to say how it is. And I'm going to bring up ideas that kind of go around it of possible things that could happen with it, that I'm not really worried one way or another how it will occur. It's just going to happen. It already has. And the focus, so that's how you know how to focus for you. And then we can work with doing that idea of understanding. And I got a lot of this understanding from the combinations of all the different sciences that helped me, and the things that helped me figure out how to naturally heal my burns and other issues, and to deal with pains that I deal with, and how to handle it, and how to stay happy. Also, things that I learned of how to change your sleep patterns so that you can sleep at a certain time when you're attacked and targeted. Sometimes you have to stay awake during the times they attack you, so that they won't be able to come at you fully at those times. And it doesn't mean that they can't still get you in the morning times. It's just they won't be able to mess with you as much or threaten you as much in those morning hours, because their tech or their abilities of their tech would be noticed more, or it would overuse their power conduit, because now they're in the mornings, they're using their energy power for different things. And they're also, the lights are on. Their hologram light system for day and night is going on, if that's possible. But for some reason, they're using their energy for other things in the morning than they want to do for the adduction programs. So when you stay awake and you're awake and observant during the nighttime, they will not be able to mess with you as much, because you're more alert and more aware. And that messes with them. That's irritating. Plus, I think there is a time that's connected to meditation, to the oneness connection that we all are, that around 3 to 5, and it's usually around 3:30 and 4, but it's around 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. that there is a time frame connection, and there's some parts of that time frame that some people have noticed is stronger, where there is a clear focus of peace and healing and protection for you. So there is a time around 3:30 a.m. to 3:40 for 10 minutes where you feel completely protected or capable, because there is a connection of meditation that's going on in the world that others have tapped into, the awakened ones or the gurus or whatever have been aware of. But I've been aware of something even more unique. They kind of understand this, but for some reason, they're controlling the way of doing it. And we can do it in a different pattern that I realized. And I was shown this by a higher form of what to do and how I should do it, and that my thoughts and feelings are accurate, that I figured it out, that I would figure it out by the end of 2019, which I have. I realized it by being authentic, opening up my whole heart and brain, getting out of the systems and realizing the systems that are there. Even if I don't fully understand the systems, I know they're connected to religions and societies of control and syndicates. And they're humanoid and human. And other species, but we're all kind of connected to a a race of what we consider human, but we're not necessarily the full-fledged idea of human. We're a combination of other races and other beings and other society that's been around for who knows how long. And many people want to define what it is, but it's many realities, many dimensions, and many timelines. Many of us aren't from this realm. We have been pushed into this realm, or we have an energy signature belonging to another time location, or have been to other locations or other parallel dimensions. Somehow we hopped in. We are fifth dimensional beings without even knowing that we're fifth dimensional beings. If you want to know what a fifth dimensional being is, there's many different understandings, but the one I'm talking about, it's very similar to what they bring up in Men in Black 3. You remember Griffin? Remember that guy who had the arc neck in his head? For those that know Men in Black 3 movie with Will Smith and well, that movie brings up something where there are multiple possibility timelines. We are seeing that in our dreams. We are seeing multiple timelines and multiple possibilities happening. Those of us who are awake and more aware of those dreams will understand that we're seeing different possibilities based on the choices we make and the choices other soul group connections with us do, or that we get drawn to and choose to accept or not. It's our ability of focus and belief in what we see and what we feel others are seeing and what we communicate with others to agree to see or fear to see or don't want to agree with you on. So what we need to do is become more focused in what we all want equally, individually, for each of our own individual understanding awarenesses. Dream big, belief in things that you don't know whether they can or not, and then they can, by getting them to say that they're possible in the way you want it, in the way that you feel is needed. Don't try to put labels or restrictions on it. Don't say, I got to work for it. Don't think, oh, but it's better for people to work because then they'll just sit down and not do anything. You know what? People are suffering from doing that idea. They have been pushed and enslaved and pushed into working their butt off and breaking bones and causing harm and killing each other and causing cancer. So stop that shit. And let's pray and meditate for those people who are disabled and have done what you said to do and have gotten harmful because of your ideas. It's not your fault. It's the system's fault. I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming the idea of teaching that's false. The idea that even science and others confirm, the basketball studies confirm, that we don't need to do that. All we need to do is stop getting irritated of those emotions. It's okay to be irritated, but get away from it and put judgments aside, heal it, and create what it is you know is needed. And it's by meditating and being smart and recognizing what matters for that individual's awareness and needs, and create the reality that way. There's too many control people. And if you're not allowing that idea, that's because you want to be controlled by those systems because you think there is no way out. That's what they want you to do. That's what they're doing to keep control over you and whoever they are. And there's many different forms of that. Some of them are gang stalker programs that are getting paid to get you to think that way, to get the propaganda going so that you buy their products or contribute to companies that control this system or gain money off of you, rather than manifesting the things into being for free by influencing the collective connection to get it be brought to you in the way you require it, and to stop the controlled world into a free world that's fully free and healing and harmonious for every individual that desires that. So what it is I'm bringing up a lot of emotional focus here to get you to understand that this is up to you. But it's not just up to you. It's up to those that want this. So even if just two of us are doing it, we're going to be fine. Because we're going to bring others into being around us to create this. The great thing that I feel was very important, and then after I say this, I'm going to go into chapter 3. But the great thing that was really awesome for me was having that experience with that higher form who came in the form of Jesus Christ, because that's the form that I could accept and be caring of. But they were that being. They were that being. That was one of their lifetimes. And they said, I'm you and everybody's connected to me. So I saw that I am. I saw the connected being of I am. And the way I knew it was the I am was it was within, but it was causing amazing healing abilities. And within 4 days, for the 4 days, I was healed and provided answers and was able to read people's thoughts, feel people's feelings, even more than I ever had before. And I was able to know exactly what was needed to do because I opened that connection with another person that believed that there was a being within me to help me, or some kind of science or teaching of his awareness of it that we can tap into. Neuralistic hypnosis programmers know we can do this for free, but they want to profit off of it. What we need is people with those abilities to open those areas for us safely and to help us have that belief in the law of attraction creation. Many of them that do it are afraid or told not to, and so they're limiting our abilities because of agreements they made to control and earn money and privileges where they can already manifest things for themselves because they've been able to tap and do that for themselves. But that's the issue. Some of them are controlling themselves by religious belief when it's not really about that. It's about the connection of everyone matters. It was because those beliefs of peacemaker teachings are all saying it. One day, if it doesn't get noticed now, even after my life path, wherever I go or whatever happens to me, many people will probably wake up and realize the information I'm telling now, maybe from retelling my information and getting it to be known. There are many people who passed on that people then change the words and alter it to control systems and everything. So I'm telling you, you better be aware of it now, and let's not worry. Let's just do it. Let's just meditate for free. Now, there are many people that I've noticed that offer free stuff and do that. I really like a lot of the channels because they help me realize what they weren't choosing to acknowledge fully because of their businesses and focuses of what they think manifests things. And I don't hate or disassociate with these individuals. I am not really, and I have tried some of their stuff, but I realized by trying some of it, it was still controlled. It wasn't free like it should be. What I was noticing is like Jake Ducey and Aaron Dottie and all of those, they have all their different programs. And a lot of them, they invested their own money. They use their own money and they're trying to get money back. But what we need to do is, instead of worrying about those practices that they think is the way to do it, and it doesn't mean that those programs that they made don't help. It's just they've conditioned it to a direction of doubt in you or others to keep you on the hook for their products. And they become snake oil salesmen, but they even acknowledge that they could be that way. But they weren't meaning to do that originally. They just feel that that's the direction they're going and feel they need to be or whatever. But they do want some form of us raising our consciousness for a free world, but they're controlling it. Those with thousands of views, thousands of people following them and being aware of it, they are part of the control system. Until they realize what I've realized, where I'm not saying that they're not wise. They're wise, and a lot of the things they're saying has great knowledge if it works for your belief. At the same time, what has happened is people are trying to do things where they earn things in a pattern of funds where you can just manifest those with each other. And when we come together, we don't have to worry about people contributing or benefiting. If people choose to, that's out of their intuition of willingness and your belief that they will. So I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying that that's just the path that they think is the way to earn. And we all can earn in different patterns. But when we come together freely, as best as we can, and are willing to do things freely, but if it costs us to do it, then we need to be honest with the cost. And we need to understand that before I can do that, I need to somehow manifest so that I can pay for what you're wanting me to do. Because it would cost me money to do what you're asking in that pattern. So let's do it in a simple, easier way that Christ and others have mentioned we can do, which is just connect with our hearts, individual belief, and just say it with each other. You know how you're with children and you're playing games with children and you're having fun in their way and your way of fun, and they love and they're entertained and they're just having a good time? That's how you do it. You have a good time. You do the things that are fun. Now, a lot of them want to keep doing it because they think this is just so cool. This is so cool. I want to keep doing it. I want to keep doing it. And then you get worn out and get tired because you have no more energy and they have a ton of energy to do it. That's why children's prayers are powerful, because their energy is so uplifting, so energized, so focused, can go forever, can keep on doing. We can get to that same energy by becoming more plant-based and energy and high energy, feeling and healing the pains through the prayer with those little ones, with tons of energy. Not siphoning their energy or us siphoning from ours, but coming together in equal agreement that we're already healed and things are working and that we have what we need. Because when we're free of the stresses and we manifest through the prayers so that we can be free and have the rest that we need, then we have tons more energy all of a sudden, because now we're happy, now we're joyful, now we're in our life that we want. The pains that we had before aren't there anymore because we found ways to heal them. We have the funds to correct the pains when the pains come. And that's how this works, is just say to your pains, you are healed. Do it as a group healing, and you can heal without need of technology. Now, if you feel that the need of technology needs to be in your atmosphere, then do what you feel helps. And then have the belief that you doing that while you're listening to that person and thinking about them helps them, because you're using things that are helping you gain power to do that healing for them. So sometimes you believing in stones and in looking at a candle or doing those kind of things may be something that helps you to help others. But you don't necessarily need that. For me, it's music and binary beats and things at times. Sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's just me letting out the pain, bringing it out and finding solutions. But now I've realized that what it is we can just talk to one another and meditate and pray with our hearts. So that's how this works. So what we are is what we think and focus on and what we want. So let's go into chapter 13 here. This is probably one of the best introductions to it, because this is a hope and overview of my personal feelings and hopes for all. I'm going to bring up a lot of information, a lot of shows, a lot of awarenesses, and a lot of things that people are hiding in plain sight. Now, there's many things I want to say, but I'm just going to read along, and as I read along, maybe I'll be able to bring up what I want to say. But I may bring up these other ideas on other videos, because I kind of want to focus on whatever this chapter is about. So let's go, and it's kind of a combination of the whole book. So let's do that. So hope and overview of my personal feelings and hopes for all. So again, I'm going to read it, and I'm going to correct certain words that I think need to be more positively said. So I'll say different positive or optimistic words. And then I'm going to say that have better vibrations to them that I feel is. And if they're not, then you think of words that sound more positive or optimistic to you for a better vibrational focus for you. And that's for you. For me, I'm doing what I feel from my heart. that I feel comfortable doing. And that's what we need to do for each other. We need to allow the comforts for others so that we can say it appropriately and in the focus that we feel. And start thinking as if I'm saying things that you need to hear, and then you'll hear them. And then that others need to hear as well, and allow those things to be heard, because there are certain things that I'm saying that may not be towards you. They may be other people trying to manifest knowledge and things for what they're going through. So no matter how long these information is, it is the way that they are based on your thoughts, your feeling, and actions. The more peaceful focus that you all feel is being told, the more peaceful it will. To forgive any non-peace or flaws or irritations. Bless them away. We want to be able to focus on healing. There's so much scares going on in this world about coronaviruses and 5G and all these things that are happening. And secretly, there's a lot that are trying to be pushed and manifested into being. And yes, a lot of those are certain things that could happen and are being trying to push towards, that other groups and things are doing to decide how people will respond to it and who to take out as many as they feel they can. And they're trying to get you to follow a certain paradigm to kill off animals or certain things that don't need to be killed or destroyed, blaming it on them, blaming it on those creatures, blaming it on what the news says is to stop from what is actually meant to heal us and help us. So we need to follow what matters and do what's right. It's time. So here we go. So hope and overview of my personal feelings and hopes for all. So on page 231, chapter overview and questions the secret government and life beyond reality, as well as to other beings that I know can answer my questions, and so I ask them openly and honestly to the best of my abilities, and hope you will provide the answers now in all ways I wish to understand that will help my life as well as all of us to become all we can for the benefit of our spiritual and physical lives for now and for all eternity forever, as I know we are connected. Yeah, a lot of those were controlled programming statements that the church I grew up in taught us to think in, and that we were taught in schools and in political and in government and laws, and to think and feel in, so that we can follow that narrative of control. But it's really about just follow your heart and be what is right, rather than worry about what you're being told is right. Follow what you feel is right to you and do the next right thing. I do like what Frozen 2 brings up, but that is also another controlled form, but it had a good heart. I focus on all the good information being told, but I follow my own narrative with the informations of what all of them are. But the narrative I follow is my heart. There is no narrative. It's just feeling, knowing, and seeing what I know is what I'm seeing, and then we can heal and appropriately address what is being seen. If something weird or strange comes into awareness and we realize that we've been tricked or messed with in some way, or that certain things happen a certain way, we need to assess the situation. We need to understand what is being said and witnessed, and then we need to decide how we're going to handle it with a clear, focused mind. They want us to react. They want us to freak out. They want us to be uncontrolled. At first, they want us controlled, and then there will be times they want us to be all over the place running around with our heads cut off. Similar to what they get us to think about chickens with their head cut off, because that is something everybody has been told or seen or brought to an analogy of. And so they want us to just basically be docile, and then not docile at certain things, to react, but then not react. There are going to be people that handle it well, and there will be people that think that they justify it and think it's okay for it to happen, and it's okay to be in pain, but no one wants to do any solutions right away. I have done so much research and awareness on emotion and understanding myself that I finally realized what I can do and what I feel I'm not ready to do yet, but it doesn't mean I can't do it. It's just I'm realizing that when I've done it, certain things were pushing me away. So I realized, well, how can I get better at that protection? What can I do so I'm stronger? So I've done the things individually that help me be stronger and more powerful, connected. And then I've also done things where I know that there are people and beings and others that can help me correct that issue and to become a better form of self so that I can be able to react and acknowledge things in a better form of a directional focus. So here we go. So chapter overview and questions is secret government and life beyond reality, as well as to other beings that I know can answer it. So that's what it's all about. So let's ask what we all want to know. In fact, I will ask these things in my CD because asking and writing is not exactly what I'd like to truly know things on. At the same time, I will write them also. So I wrote down some things, questions that I have. A lot of my questioning now is just not really needing to question, but to manifest things. Because I don't need to worry about what their reasoning behind why they're doing things are, or who is there for us and who isn't. I've already asked, and I'm already publicly letting it be known too, by saying, what about the law of attraction and manifesting ideas? What about graded information of doing that? Even if they answer that, they may try to control that for some that choose to. What we want to do is be completely open to our feelings and answer from our heart and question with our heart when it's needed. There are many people bringing up stuff about things where they feel that they're good, but they're doing it and yet they're ignoring suffering to heal certain things. They're allowing themselves to question things that others are questioning to fit in why they suffer and die, and why they suffer in poverty or not having things because they think they can't do anything about it. That's why I'm here. I'm telling you, you can do something about it. This is what they've been trying to stop people from doing, but don't fear that. It's now being known. It can now be done. We don't need to worry about what they'll try to do or what they've done. We work around it. We do what's needed, and we bring up when those attacks happen and say, hey, pray for me, meditate for me, stop them from doing these attacks on me. Stop them from doing these tactical. I've done what I feel I need to do. Now you do what you can to help me for what you can. But even if you've chosen not to, I'm doing what I know is needed and hoping others will wake up to it and do the same. And I want to do the same for you too. I want you safe. I want you okay. I don't expect you to do anything with me. I used to expect expectations of stuff. Now I don't really worry about those expectations because everybody expected things of me and I could never follow their idea of expectation. It doesn't work that way. The great thing that I learned is they teach you that in therapy school. And therapists, when you go to therapists, they say, well, what is it that matters? And when you say, well, it's me that matters, I just need to do what's good for me and then do the next thing. And I was told by a therapist when I said something similar to that, they said, wow. They said, you figured this out faster than any of my patients ever have. He said, you're thinking like a therapist. And I said, well, I naturally have always dealt with that. I broke a ton of bones growing up, so I had to find a way around those pains. And I didn't even really notice the pains. I just knew that there was an issue there. Yes, there was a lot of emotional feelings of not feeling like I was accepted. And at first I kind of kept those feelings quiet, but as I got older and after I had the back surgery, it made me more talkative about my feelings and to stand up to my teachers and people. And then there was things that I said to try to fit in or try to get them to get people to listen. When I told them the truth, they wouldn't listen to the truth. So I made up things in the past. I don't do that anymore, but I did that when I was younger to get them to pay attention to what I felt needed to be paid attention to. because I felt they weren't going to pay attention to me when I told them what really mattered. So I might as well get them to tell them things that to get them to realize those issues that I was upset at other people. So I was following my pains and irritations of those other people, but not all the things that everybody thinks I made up. The things that people think I'm talking about isn't really what I made up. It was really little teeny things of imagination or ideas or fitting in with friends and following what they made up, and then I made up those same things with them. But then I stopped that and said, no, I'm not doing that anymore. And then kind of hiding things about desires and thinking that if people knew that I had that, then I'd be judged or prejudged for choosing to do those ideas that I was being tempted to do. But then I realized that it was me that needed to decide what was right for me, and that those were just part of the controlled systems. And it was making me not a good individual. I was a sweet person and I cared, but then I really also felt victimized or doubted when I told certain truths, so I acted out, just like everybody does when they're younger. That gets into that type of situation where they're not being heard. Some just quiet down and they shut up and not say anything and get victimized or allow the abuse and endure through it. And then some don't, and they stand up against and try different approaches and do a tactic to manipulate. And I had family or others that were teaching me to manipulate or do things, or I saw that, and so I tried it, and then they tried it. So I feel bad because I was a bad example getting my family to think that those were good tactics to do, which I feel like they learned it from my younger self awareness or my lack of me being the full authentic me, and I feel horrible for that. And so now after 2019, after realizing it, because after 2015 I decided I'm going to start being more honest, but it wasn't until 2019, the beginning of it, and the end of 2018 that I started to be more honest and true. And then by December, I started to realize what I really needed to do. That I needed to stop playing games because I had other relatives that taught me to play games and to be fake and to mess with people, because that's how they get their kicks and giggles to deal with people, get them to think in ways and get them to think that you're saying one thing when you're saying something totally different. Now I try to be as clear as I can, but I forgive others for misinterpreting me and for my past failures and focusings and irritations that caused people. But I'm not going to apologize to things that they say I should apologize without knowing what it is they're saying I should apologize for. We need to break it down. I need to understand what it was I did that for. And I need to kind of go, okay, well, I don't remember doing that, but that does sound awful. So if that's the case, let's heal that. And I'm not going to focus on doing that kind of thing anymore because I don't agree with doing that anymore. I did the wrong approach there. I still have my thoughts and feelings that organic, vegan, and foods are good to do because of how it helped me, and the trickery foods are not healthy. So I'm still going to follow that idea. I'm still going to be aware of that. But people don't want to hear what they don't want to hear. They don't want answers, yet they do. They just only want it when they notice that it is hurting them. But they don't want someone talking about it and manifesting it to them when they don't see or feel that it has. So there's going to be different opinions and awarenesses based on their awarenesses in their body. So what I've decided is let people eat what they're going to eat, but let me eat what I need, and don't expect me to eat your food, and don't expect you to eat my food. The fact is I can't offer what I don't feel healthy to offer, but they feel the same way about me, even though they know it's healed me and helped me, but they think it's all psychedelic. And I'm like, no, your foods are psychedelic. That's what I learned from blood doctors and other people, and I didn't know that, and I noticed a change. Plus, are you getting the flu and sicknesses and colds? If you are, then you're following that paradigm that gives you sicknesses and colds. Me, I've learned how to get the sickness out of me faster. Doesn't mean I don't get runny noses and things. Those runny noses just are sicknesses coming out of me faster because of the chemicals in the air and the foods and everything around us. They did that to us. But my body is healing and correcting itself by me eating more natural foods. It's corrected the systems. It's corrected my bones and my pains more the more I eat what's needed. And they're trying to stop us from doing that and think that that's not possible to do, and that we need to genetically make foods because there's not enough for population. That's untrue. We can make more food. There's enough land and enough energy to make it rain naturally and to make the universe listen. Christ tried to teach that. He tried to say you can tell the storms to cease or to start. You can't just cease the seas, you can make the seas happen. Make the rain rain. You can pray for rain. You can pray for things that are required, that are natural and organically made. So that's the way this works. So here we go. So my question, explain more. These questions I ask hoping that honesty can and will be told. At the same time, I ask these questions so that we can learn. Can all learn what it is we may all want to know that I haven't heard others ask. And a lot of my questions have solutions be provided. It's not just to ask for us to know stuff. It's also, if you know that, then why aren't you doing anything about it? Why aren't we making action for it to happen? And they have excuses, and they try to make excuses to control. It's all about power, control, and money, and their system of what they think justifies them not doing it. But it doesn't mean they aren't. It's just they have their reasons that they're choosing not to tell us. And that's the problem. We need to know so we know how to act for ourselves if they're not going to for us. So many people avoid the questions. So this isn't to our president or politicians. This is to the secret government and to the beings who do know and are willing to tell those who truly want safety for all. So also for you to find the answers yourself. Because if I don't ask them, then who will? And will others be able to ask and recognize these questions and what is going on and why? So so there you go. That's my reasons, and listen to the CD recording. There is more to this, and then you may think at the same time, no, I have belief in you and belief in me too. If you have questions, I can answer and work with trying to get them asked if I wonder if they need to be clarified or asked. But I don't really feel like asking much anymore. I'm still going to ask, but I don't expect an answer. I want them to give me an answer. I want the answer. I know it's needed, but there's too many messed up systems where they try to give you coded answers when it needs to be clear, simple. Let's create, let's solve it, let's provide it in the way you feel is needed. Let's do it in your tailored way of requirement, not in the way they think needs to be done. They may know more info, so once we know information, we may have answers to those ideas that they think they have the answers for that they are failing at. But they want to be the heroes. They want to be the ones that have the answers and do it. They don't want you to have the answers. They want to look good because it's their job to. But that's not the way this works. We all need to do it for each other. Because if someone else doesn't have the answer, then who does? I realize what it is and how simple it is. But it's by coming together and being willing to do that. And if no one chooses to, at least I will. But I hope you do too, because that's how we stop this, is by listening to each other with our hearts and blessing it into our unique way for us. And then we'll learn from each other and add on to those things that we like, that work for us individually. You may learn things from me, and I may learn things from you from doing these meditation techniques that I'm talking about we should do. That's what this is all about now. I've realized what's going on. I realized how we can help do it. Doesn't mean that there's going to be other things that happen, and we may have to react and do certain things that get their attention. But that's going to be up to our own individual awareness of it. But we're not necessarily going to need to. when we do these other awarenesses of abilities. And that's how important this is. And that's why I know the higher form told me to tell people about this. But you can talk to your own forms of higher self that know similar knowledge connection from your heart. But some people are being told by the wrong beings, where they're focusing on negative and putting me down and putting others down rather than building each other up in healing each other. They're making it conditional and thinking that that can't happen. The can'ts of the unconditional ways of energy is what the issue is. We can do it without having to work, without having to move a finger, other than focusing on our energy inside and speaking it out loud and doing it inside, outside, and creating it and speaking to each other about it. And then things come around us and people just bring it to us freely, because we manifested and inspired people to want to do that, because we now opened the energy connections to allow it. Because now people are like, okay, here you go, here's a free gift, here's this, here's that, because you're intending it, you're willing it to you. And it's happening, not in the way that you think it can happen in, but in a better form of way that's more conditional, more simple, and more freely provided by others. Now, when someone provides us something, it doesn't mean that we're going to get the full requirements from them. They're going to give us when they feel to give it to us freely without strings attached is what we require. And that's what will come. And then any other things that where people decide not to do that anymore, then someone else will make up for that person disappearing. I've realized how to do this. There's societies like Unity and others that had a whole bunch of people coming, and then they lost a lot of people because their approaches are not the right approaches. They're peaceful, they're great, they're wonderful, but they're the wrong approaches. I've been noticing that, and I'm like, okay, maybe that's the approach they want, and I hope they get it from those that are willing to open to it, but I have a more free focus that we can do. And that's what they're afraid of me for. That's why I was targeted. That's why I have been put to a limited. But that limited situation helped me realize this awesomeness. And now that's why I've been inspired to correct this book and now do what I know is needed. And people are waking up to what their true path is now. Especially with those that are at their weakest, now they can become the strongest. And if they die, now they're free. Doesn't mean they should die. Doesn't mean I want to die. It means that we can correct it till we have nothing else we know what to do. And then whatever the form of life, form of universe is ready for us to be, that's what we'll be. And if that has to deal with dying, then that's what will happen. We'll die so we can be free. But it doesn't mean we need to. So that's how cool this is. This is how powerful this is. So let's get into this. So, the ending thoughts before the end to clarify my realization, the connections, all things to work. So as I wrote this book, I also had personal things that I went through, as well as communications and learning. So we'll go up to the top here first. Mostly people avoid the question, so this isn't our president. Okay, so I would ask things. So there you go. That's my reasons. And listen to the CD recording, which I just told you. There is more to this than you may think. At the same time, I know I have belief in you, and I have belief in me too. And I have a lot more belief than I did back then. Back then, I thought I was following my full self, but I was awakening slowly. And then when I made the action to leave the religion I was in that was holding me to those agreements to control my mind and heart, I let that go and I freed my mind and heart. And then I now am freeing slower and slower, but faster and faster too. I'm doing it at a speed that is actually really fast, but to some people seems slow. They think that they have the upper hand, and yet my heart is doing otherwise. It's healing from the inside out. My soul is ascending. I'm becoming that which Enoch and others stories have hinted we can do, even if they were imaginary stories. There's something to it. And I tapped into it. I realized it. And you can too. You're healed. You're amazing. You're powerful. You're awesome. You have the power within you. Let's do this together freely, as best as we can. If you can't call me because that's not free, then don't call me. Let's just freely think about each other. But if you have the means to do it like I do, let's do it while we have those abilities to do that. But don't do anything that gets you into bondage or control. Don't do anything out of fear. Do things where you're not afraid to do it because you can get through it being okay. Calling on the phone to me isn't a dangerous, necessarily worried thing, because when we talk and communicate with each other in any way we can, we'll be able to, with the funds that we have, then we'll be able to make more funds and manifest more things by talking and creating that reality, saying it. So I say this to Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton and all of those, and Deepak Chopra, and those that say they can meditate and manifest things, or focus that we can do that in their own way of approach. Listen to my way of approach. Do this with me in the way that I've realized. Yes, you may be very well educated. You may know the ancient texts that I don't know. You may know those things, but I have tapped into this. I realized it. I know what to do, so do this with me. Those that choose not to, that's on them. That's on you, because you know that there's a controlled system and you're allowing the controlled system to happen. But if you feel that I can be healed, think as though I'm healed, even if you think I'm flawed in my way of approach, of a focus. I'm not, and I know I'm not. I'm following my heart. Just like you all taught and said. You know. The teachings teach this. So I'm reaching out to you, and anybody else that knows these individuals, reach out to them and get them to listen to this recording, because this is to them. This is to them. Wake up, people. Let's manifest and create. I don't mean this in a rude way or in an irritated way. It comes across to some people maybe as if I'm thinking in a bad form of vibration, but I'm not. I'm meaning to say it in a way that I can say it with the pains that I've dealt with and dealing with. I know that those pains are no longer. We can heal that. Think positive thoughts of me. I'm thinking the best positive thoughts of you. If you can reach out and meditate with me in my own tailored way of meditation with yours that you've realized, then we can heal. It's simpler than what you may have be taught or allowing others to really do. And you may be doing it for your own earning a gain that you feel inspired to do. But we can do it a lot freer than what you are, I've learned and noticed that you're doing. But maybe you are doing the way that I'm speaking. And if you are, then find me and let's do this together. Because I really need this, and there are many others that need it too. So let's not ignore those that ask us. I'm asking for your help. Meditate for me, heal me. Anytime I ask, do it. Anytime I got drawn to your information for a purpose. You got drawn to me through others for a purpose. We are waking up. We need to make that peaceful world. And this is the way. Get children to pray. Get people in childlike attitudes to pray with children in a safe pattern of meditation of their choosing, of their belief system. Making it universal. Making it multi-universe, timeline, dimension, all forms of whatever vibration connection there is. It's beyond what we've been told. And we are realizing it more and more. And you may have already figured that out, but I have tapped into it more because of the lack of my needs and the lack of those societies controlling my every movement, but not controlling my every abilities. But they're not controlling every movement I make either all the time. Even if they are, there's an inner me that's doing certain things that's tripping them up. And I'm tripping them up at times. But I don't want them to be tripped up or hurt. I want them to be healed. I want us all to heal. I want us all to do peace. And to have our desired direction of life. You may want to be in a different heaven than me. Well, I want you to be in that heaven that you feel is needed for you. I want to be in more of an unconditional, peaceful, blissful heaven that I see and feel. And our heavens may be similar. You may not understand that it's more unconditional than what we think the heavens are and reality is. It's so cool. So there you go. So on page 232 here, I'm going to do some ending thoughts before the end to clarify my realization that connects all things to work. As I wrote this book, I also have had personal things that I went through, as well as communication and learning. I recognize a pattern of why things end of being created. First, I want to mention, as we think, feel, and do, we are affected by those around us, and spiritual feelings and guidance is what we follow above anything else. Our personal thoughts of others also affect not just our lives, but theirs, as well as we let it. We all have solutions that we feel from our experience and feelings and pains and noticing, and those experiences and pain and feeling affect our reality. I noticed this myself. I tried this out and I recognize that we all have choices to make, and we all have people we love and choose to think about. Everything we do for others is based on our feelings and choices they do and we do with them. Many of us really feel strongly about products and things that can help someone. At the same time, if that person has done those things and they don't choose to stay with those things, people get hurt and feel that, but it can help you. Or if someone tried those things before, we go, oh, but those things will help you. Oh, well, I tried those things. Then the person that told you to try it will say things based off of their feelings about it and expect you to follow what they have belief in. Or hope that you'll figure it out later that it's they just did it from their heart. But I learned natural cures are better than the synthetic ones. Now, if that person tried it but didn't work for them, sometimes people will feel like they gave up too early or they didn't do it exactly right. At the same time, the person finding a solution to their problem feels that they found something that does work for them and that it helped all areas. Well, that is where things get a little tricky. The thing they found requires certain things they may not have. Now, those who say they love that person yet want the person to do their thing, even though that person did do that and it didn't work. The person that wants the other thing for that person won't want the thing that the person looking for a solution wants, that they feel will work since they tried it and it helped. Sometimes we tell people pray and you will get an answer. Others think, well, okay, but find a way to get that treatment, yet their belief in that idea isn't strong. Their idea is yet the other person's idea is not their own. So this 233 page. So in the middle of this page here. So the question you may be thinking, if not someone else might, is, well, then how can that be resolved? Which way works? And all they have to do is to just have belief with each other in the same pattern, and it will. Depending on the situation, if it's a situation where currently the person has health problems and they feel they found a solution for the health problem, but the other family member who doesn't have the life with them on daily basis, even if they did, belief in something else, those two ideas will end up affecting one another through the thought, belief, energy of thought. Both spiritual and non-spiritual can and do affect each other. So if one has belief and has tried all sorts of treatments and they find one they know works for them, yet their money lacks, people who don't believe in the energy of thought and only religion belief of God's timing will end up focusing on the simple ideas of prayer. Now, knowing what that person needs is the issue. When someone thinks they need one thing and another thinks someone needs something else that person already did and didn't work for them, The thing is that that person already knows what's going on with them and something is lacking for them. I realize the issue. The reason why people don't always succeed with the law of attraction techniques are any brain thought idea isn't always because of their own thoughts, but other thoughts around them. And I thought that and I figured that, but then it was because we were not following our hearts and we're questioning our own awareness of healings, our instincts and our healings, and listen to what people are saying, but then go for more natural. The more I started to follow natural, the more I got drawn to more natural ideas that healed me. But I first started to pray and got directed to ideas that weren't working. Then I found out medicine bandages and doesn't fully heal, and I started to have instincts and awarenesses of that. Started to get drawn to people. Other people started to notice it too, but then they were still having us eat meats and things and doing some other supplements of their belief that to me was still not fully natural. That was still medicated forms of chemicals. And I started to realize it's the chemicals, it's the nanotech, it's all of that is second generation and not natural forms and natural electricity ascending vibration ascending forms. So then I started to realize that it's all about electricity and energy and water. It's all about vibrations of healing and focus of energy, electricity within us and around us. And so I have things like the acupuncture vibrational pens that I've used, and I use that for my pains. Whenever I have pains, I use it on those certain pain areas or areas that I feel comfortable having them on that relieve me of the pains that I'm dealing with. Then I deal with the idea of praying with each other and healing it and getting massages, having people using their energy and massaging you, using natural oils and organic forms rather than genetically altered forms, purified water things, non-chemical forms that others are saying are used certain ways, and using the natural forms of that and getting them in containers that aren't chemically adding more chemicals to it secretly without knowing it, putting it in tubes and certain things, but then not worrying about it as much because the more natural it is, the more it will protect it from the tube containers they're in. But do your best to put them in containers that don't do chemical things to it. So the more holistic you go, the more plant-based and natural form you get back to, the more reality starts to shift and heal the problems, or at least barrier ourselves or put protector shielding on us from the things that we have that we enjoy having, even though it's chemically based, like the housing units we live in and certain things. So we just need to find a balance with that we are okay with until we're ready to have more natural forms of free energy that is existent, and then manifesting those technologies and free energy into being for us. And then learning to naturally heal within us too, not just expecting the technology to do it all for us, but use it with us. And then having the vibe pens, having vibrational acupuncture, acupressure chairs and massagers and full body massaging, even feet massaging and toxic freedoms and natural freedoms of all of that. And then we free our full functions. Now it's hard for those of us who have metal in our body and our teeth. We need to get those out of us first before we can do a full toxicity, to get toxins out of us too. We detox. And so doing the foot detox and the other things with natural things to get it out of us, they need to make sure that they're using natural things to detox us with. And then free us and think positive thoughts as they're going through those detoxic. Start doing Reiki type stuff. But even better than Reiki, focus and belief with that person. Say it, speak it, say it, do it freely. And then it helps and it works. And do it for all diseases, not just particular diseases. And then it helps. So that's what I realized and stumbled upon. So because of their own thoughts, but others' thoughts around them. The only thing that works is when that person follows what they always have followed to the completeness of what they did before following their belief fully. So following what they feel their new belief is what really matters. Their feeling of their heart and their mind together with their emotions, their gut, as one. And then when a man and woman come as equals, they can create that. So I'm more of a tailored idea of everything, like the vibration acupuncture vibration pen that I got drawn to, and then all these other things, and getting massages and other things can help too with the energy belief of those individuals that know, and then believe with yourself, and then finding ways to do Christ-like healing and energy focuses with those that say that they can do it freely, but do it yourself to manifest the funds, and then go to the people who are charging that you can afford to do more healing to benefit them. But if they do it for free, it will be easier for us all, and then we can all just get funds without needing to pay people for funds or pay people for healing and manifesting. We don't need to do that. So the only thing that works is when that person follows what they always have followed, on the completeness of what they did before, following their belief fully, praying and following and reading their scriptures of their belief, and fully doing that which makes them happy can help your belief to work stronger and feel more natural. Now, it does help when others have belief with you. Now, when people think you have lack of faith, or they can't handle the full religiousness you get into, yet they told you that you should, it seems to be like ping pong. Oh, now you're fully in faith. You're following everything you need. Now it's time to just do your own things. And those who become spiritual, others aren't always able to handle seeing others get blessings while they suffer. What it is that drives success is thought for you and for others' success in their lives, regardless of how they feel or what you think they feel about you or what they think they feel you're feeling about them. Now, not everyone can do everything others desire them to do. That's the biggest statement I will say. Not everybody can do what others think they can do. We need to understand the pains of what that person is dealing with and help correct them in the way they feel they needed it. Those things may not make you happy to the needs of your thoughts and happiness. Don't worry, you will be brought to those who do if those others can't. That's something I noticed. When my family or others chose to give up on me or felt that I was giving up on them because they were lacking the ability to heal, it doesn't mean they didn't want to. It just means we weren't understanding or working with each other the way we needed. I wanted them to, but they weren't able to. And so they pushed me away because they didn't feel like I felt they could do it, because they didn't feel that they could. They were lacking in their faith of belief they could with me in the way that I felt we could all do through prayer and manifesting, through just having good focusing on each other. And then thinking that I couldn't good focus made me not good focus for them. And I tried to, and I wanted to correct that. And I feel the same about them. I love them. I care about them, even if they don't think I do. And even if I didn't come across that way to them, I really do care. I want to unconditionally. And all we need to do is bless it into being, doing the idea I figured out. But they don't see it that way, or they come across as if that's not the way they feel right about right now. They're following what they think their religion teaches them to do. And that's what they feel they need to do. But they're not always following what their religion wants them to do either. They're following their interpretation of what they think their religion says they can do. And they're okay with their flaws. They think flaws are necessary. You know what? We don't need to see ourselves as flaws. We're going to have flaws if we see ourselves flawed. But we're not flawed. We are what we feel we can be based on the issues we're dealing with. And we can heal those issues by saying those issues are healing and finding and being inspired on how to heal them. by eating the natural foods, manifesting the funds to cover those natural foods, and then doing energy science with it. It's a combination of all of that. That's something I realized by realizing what they were questioning. Let others know what it is you feel you need. If that person cares, they will end up following as soon as they realize how important and helpful this is for you. And they may do that for a time, and they may give up, and then they may come back, and then they will. It's a back and forth ping pong, I've noticed. And it's because they're lacking in their own self of what they think is real. They're not sure what it is they want to do, and they don't want to do something that deceives them. They want to feel free, and they don't know if they can. They've made agreements, some, and it's hard for them to get out of those agreements because they're afraid of the target after they do. So let's pray for all of them that are stuck in that moment of confusion and ping pong issues. Let's believe and manifest for them is what I focus now. So here we go. So have belief as if they do. Now, it's hard to have belief in things because there are just so many things that are needed. Focus on all of them just for a little and see and put them together the way you would like them in your life. Trust that all you want is real. So right now, I'm doing my best to tell you in the way that my book tells you, and then I'm correcting it. But I'm going to do some new recordings after this. I just needed to tell you the best I can with what is said in the book to tell you that there is new ideas that I have, and I'm going to give that new knowledge and new teachings on my new focus recordings. So we value and love others, and we don't want to disappoint anyone. So sometimes we give up those things we want to prove to others and try their idea. The idea goes for a long time, and we try it out, but as we do, it weakens our true wants. Yeah. We give efforts into something that delays the real wants. We desire by following others' wants, even if it is to help us. Those things hurt our family when it doesn't work and they say it's our fault, or they will say, sorry, at least we did all we can. I've done so many things. And the other things is when we choose a treatment, we need to make sure that we tell that our doctors and others doing the treatments what it is we need and feel will work. And that's what I've done, and my doctors have worked with me, and they've been impressed by my knowledge of doing that. They wish more patients would do that for themselves, for those that actually care. I learned personally that brain therapy is first the best to do. I also learned that my life has its ups and downs based on the thoughts of others about me and the thoughts about them about me and so on. And my feelings and thoughts about me with me, my belief in their thoughts about me. So I've learned to not worry about that anymore and free myself from that and just do what I felt is needed for me, but then still think good thoughts about them as best as I can, and then heal that with each other, and then encourage you and others to do that with me. Let's pray, let's manifest, let's do simple ideas, and I'll teach that in the future recording. It's going to be very awesome. I'm really excited for it because it's so powerful. So I just needed to do this so that I can break the blocks that I haven't broken. And now I feel free, and now I can do what's needed. And I got pushed this direction by tactical attack. Maybe they wanted me to go to this direction, and they felt that I needed that effort to do it. So regardless of the bad attacks or good or reasoning, it helped me to realize what not to do and what we should do, and to let people know of what's wrong with pushing us these directions. But what's also good is they got me to realize why these actions are bad. and what we need to do and focus on. It got me to be more passionate, more powerful, and just push them back to get them to go, boom, let's do healing, let's manifestation time. Do it, do it, do it. So that they can finally realize why it's so important rather than their tactical crap. So we think a certain way for others or about others making those things possible in our life as well as our own. So as we do unto others, as we'd like them to do for us, so think and it becomes. So it's our hearts that matter. They try to push us away and try to get us to think that these ideas don't work, but they actually do, and they're freely able to work. Now, there are those that are trying to get us to do it that don't work, that are trying to suppress the powers by making us pay for it when we can do it freely. And we should do it freely for others because that's how we want it, right? That's how we want the healing. We've tried doing the other, but it's killed us and it's caused us harm. And some people, it's worked for you, but some of us have been abused and we've done it and we keep breaking and suffering. And you're like, it's because you're not doing it right. We've done it the way that we feel we can. You're not us. And maybe you were us, but you don't remember being us. And if you did remember being us, you would realize how important this is. And you would stop abusing and thinking badly of us, and you would correct it. So I forgive you. You're fine. Let's correct and do it this way. If you don't want to do that, then move on. Do your way for you. But there's all of us who are weak and are strong in spirit that know this can work and are coming together and are waking up and standing up and doing what's right for ourselves and others. And that's what this is. That's why this is so cool. I'm so excited. So as we do unto others, as we'd like them to do for us, so think and it becomes. So treatments, what it is, need and feel will work. So we're on 235. So I learned personally that brain therapy is first, the best to do. I also learned that my life has its ups and downs, like I said, based on the thoughts of others about me and the thoughts about them about me and so on, and me about them and whatever. So I learned to balance it and realize that I'm not going to be perfect in the way I communicate with them. I'm going to communicate on a step-by-step basis, but when they threaten me or they think that I'm mentally ill for wanting these types of healings and focuses and noticing that if we don't do it, I'll die or others will die, then we need to take that seriously and recognize what has helped us rather than taking it away, and then stand up for ourselves when they choose not to. They'll come back. It'll be okay. And if they don't, they'll come back in another form and we'll all hug and be okay and apologize to each other because we'll understand each other's thoughts and feelings in that heavenly realm. If that doesn't happen, then it's okay. Forgive our experiences with them. We did what we needed to do for us for our healing, and we wanted to heal them, and they were lacking the ability and feelings that they could do that. And that is their choice. They felt that it needed to happen a certain way, and they wanted to condition it rather than not conditioning it. It's unconditional. It's always been unconditional. It's your feelings of thoughts and belief that it can. It's no one is exempt from it that doesn't want to be. We're all okay. Regardless of your faith, your belief system, your race, your sexual orientation, whatever you are, you're okay. You do what you feel is needed for you. But don't force others into it, and don't cause harm to children or others and to get them into that desire fantasy if it's harmful to them, even though you don't think it is. Just be smart about it, but do what you're going to do and follow your path. I'm going to follow mine that I know is right for me. And so we'll get to the same place eventually. So we think a certain way for others or about others, making those things possible in their life as well as our own. So as we do unto others, as we'd like them to do for us, so think and it becomes. Think, feel it in your emotions and your feelings in your heart, and become one with it, with another individual doing it with us, especially if it's the other's sex. So if you're a man and she's a woman, or you're a woman and the other is a man, but just become equals, regardless what sexual orientation you are. And then it doesn't mean you have sex with each other. It means you become equal in thought, feeling, and emotion and create a reality. Those that want to do the sexual stuff, that's up to you both. But you got to be equal in it if you choose to. But if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you want to do it with your sexual preference, that's fine. That should be allowed. You should be able to do what you feel you want to do with your own body, with another form of life. You shouldn't be forced or judge others for not wanting to. Okay? There are people that are trying to control that and mess with our emotions in that way, trying to control and abuse us and get us to think abuse is that needs to happen that way. We need to be free to be us. Think for others, and that is what becomes for them. Many of us think, well, if someone just has belief enough, they'd have what they want. Well, instead of thinking what others need to do, believe as if that person is doing so, and think as if they have whatever it is they need to succeed in their life. Those who have studied this sense recognize this idea. So as you think for someone and they have belief in whatever it is that is thought of them, and that they end up thinking themselves, and then that is what ends up being more of feeling that someone is lacking when they really aren't, but you have belief they are. Make it affect what you see in them. When you have faith in something and believe in that and choose to feel hopeful for that, then it happens more so. As you pray and think and feel, life ends up shaping that desire for you and for others. Now, when you think badly for others or that they lack in something, then you end up promoting lack into that person's life. That if they only just do a certain thing and then their lack is gone. And see, I've had a lot of that happen with my family, and then it made me doubt myself and doubt them as well, because they were doubting me and they were putting me down and making me feel that my ideas weren't valid or weren't working, even though they were working and they did help and they did see it work. But then they doubted it because they didn't want it to keep going, because they felt that you could still do it the other way. But I just need to think as if the other way will work. But the other way is chemically altered to control. And so they don't realize natural is uncontrolled by beings, but they want it to be controlled, or the beings want us to be that way, and the others didn't realize that that's what's going on. You got to be smart about what you're doing. You got to be aware with a open heart and mind and intuition. The people's insight of natural is important, because it's less controlled and more free with the universe than trying to control a system with food and chemicals and nanotech to control you. That's why that's not good. We don't know how much belief that person has, and sometimes they may have done what you asked, but they stopped because it harmed them. We need to not promote harm, but have belief. We need to think as if that person is successful, and then they become successful. Now, it's better to think in the way that person is thinking, not thinking as if you are, or assuming or presuming, but just think like this idea below. The person wants to be part of certain health center so that they can heal. I see them in my mind that something has shown up for them that provides them all the needs they need in the way they feel they need it in. Everything they want is okay because that person is a good person. That person deserves it, since they have done so much good in their life that they feel they have done that I may not even know of. That person has all the funds and more, even more than what I have, and so they are good to go. And yeah, so I want to think that about my parents, my family. Even if we're irritated about past pains that happen, those pains just need to be healed. Now, when they talk and think that we're not thinking that way or don't feel that way, or that we're just saying it, they're manifesting it to be the way that we don't want it to be. And so that's why we need to stay away from each other when each other has poisoned each other against each other through our thoughts and affect issues and history of each other. That's why we're not good with each other, around each other, because we've affected each other, and there's control systems that are still trying to make us think that way about each other. That's why I left the religion, because I noticed the religion programs were making me do that to my family. When I pulled out, I stopped feeling that way about my family as much as they still think and do, because they're in the program making them feel that way, and they may not know that. But I realize that that's what the cause is. But even people that are still in the program or still haven't chosen to pull their records or to do it for the right reasons of realization, and don't feel they're free now because they knew for a certain they needed to, and they're still trying to keep their records in for that purpose, it still could be controlling them. Some of them feel that maybe they're not, but once I chose that path, I felt free. It was amazing. But then I realized that we needed to update and do something to protect us on top of that. So I became a minister so that I could bless in my way by the law, to be protected because of the systems, the way that they're set. And then I can naturally be protected by the belief system and get access to the higher forms to protect me when these projects try to attack me before I get fully pulled out. Even if I fully pull out and they still try to come after me and do illegal things, I'm protected by the higher form and I'm doing good. And if I die unto myself and I'm okay and I'll be good. But I want it to be done quickly. But I was told I wouldn't and I'd be okay. And even if I did, I'd be brought back into a better form of being. So I'm good to go. I'm following my heart like Christ did, and I know I'm doing what's needed. And now, even if I don't have the abilities to heal as many ways that he was able to, I'm teaching that we can, and I know how we can, and I'm doing it with the ways that I've been able to realize. And even if I'm not as amazing as he was said to have been, or that Christ being and other peacemakers were said to have been, I tapped into the way to do it for me, and I will become their way of somehow. They showed me I will, and that I can, and it's easy, and I'm getting to that on my own until I have others help me get there in the way that I know I can. And I've noticed some powerful things I've been able to do on my own, which is awesome, but with other people it's even more powerful. So that's how it works. That person will end up with whatever they need. If they ask me for anything, I will have whatever it is they ask of me for whatever it is they personally need. Okay, so everything they want is okay because, and this is at the top of 236, I'm just rereading this. Everything they want is okay because that person is a good person. That person deserves it, since they have done so much good in their life. So think that about me and others, that they feel they have done that I may not even know of. That person has all the funds and more, even more than what I have, and so they are good to go. So everything that they require, all their requirements that matter, wants and needs, are requirements that matter to them to heal their full stress and feeling, and then they can do more for me and others. Heal that, bless it now, yes, now, and just focus on that. I'm doing that now with the focus. We did it, we're healed, yoo-hoo! And then get excited over it. Do that. Do it as often as we need to for that individual. The more people that do this and get together and tell people this way, the more we start doing it. That's the power. Why do you think religious organizations do a lot of that? We're manifesting through belief for each other. One of the biggest things I realize help is saying this. This is a huge thing, and I'm going to say it right now. It's a really powerful way of saying it. Focus and say this powerful idea. The breath of life of the universe. Put the breath of life into the individual and heal them. Bring them back. Put the breath of life into me and manifest my desired healing and needs now. Breath of life, provide. And when you say that message, many people have brought this up in spiritual teaching. The breath of life is the energy field. That phrase has power to it. People have brought people back from the dead from saying it with their heart in that way. The breath of life. Whatever that life. Breathe on yourself, or believe that you're being breathed upon by spirit and you waken. I've had dreams on this, of breath of life waking me up to see the future form or see things that are going on, to see the unseen that's needed to be seen in all realms, or the future and awareness. That's how you heal. That's how you wake up. That's how you correct the harm that's been done. The breath of life power. Okay? That person will end up with whatever they need. If they ask me for anything, I will have whatever it is they ask of me for whatever it is they personally need for their goal for them. Thinking of them as well as myself helps me and them achieve all goals. They personally are doing all that is okay for this to happen. So yeah, the breath of life is powerful, people. It's powerful. That's why I'm going to do a whole separate video on that. So that it is how to think for you and for them. Believing in them, thinking this way for them and you. Doing this every day helps both you and them to achieve all you need for this. Life has its choices, but you also must have belief in others, not just you, even those you feel hurt from, or you yelled at, or you felt they yelled at you. None of that really matters. It affected your vibration, yes. And yes, you may still feel that you need to discuss it with them. But forgive if they need that to put to the side. Just bless it with them and bless it with you. If they're not open to it, others will. So don't worry if they're not willing to. If they don't really care or aren't really open to it, they do care in the way they feel they can. And so we would need to bless for them on the side, and then they'll come back to us if they're ready, or someone else will. And eventually we'll all heal and be in our realms of acceptance. Your feelings feel it does, so it harms you and them. What we must do is think for each other's success, belief in each other's needs, in the way they feel their needs can be helped in a safe manner. So for them, they get it the way they feel they want it. If it can come quicker and easier for them, then bless that it will, even if it's hard for them to accept that. Let them have what they need in their way of acceptance, but bless for more. Unconditional as well. Do it in an unconditional if you're that type of person like me. I do that for my family every day. Every time I think, every time I feel, I do it from the heart, even if I'm not saying it or doing it or forgetting. I do, when I think about it, I'm doing it right now. I bless my family, my brothers, my family, my sister, their children, everybody. They're all our ancestry, everything, everybody is connected. Even if you're not genetically connected, all beings are now healed and blessed. We are all what we are. We have the success we know is needed for us. Now we're good. So there you go. And you just keep doing that until it happens. Okay, your feeling. Okay, feel her from your. Okay, so your feelings feel it does so it harms you and them. What our must to do is think of each other's success, believe in each other. So we do that. Safe matters. Now, if someone is harming themselves by drugs, alcohol, or by abuse, then get away and start praying for them. Think as if they will come to you for help, or that they will get to the people that can help them. Tell them you're concerned. If they listen, then help. If not, then pray. And if it's dangerous, let a health professional person know about it, or let them be aware of the healing. I've already gone to health professionals. I'm already doing what's helping me and healing me. I'm already my own health professional awareness. Let's bless for those people. But their belief of health professional is a flawed profession of control and slavery. It could be who they are for their funding and earning. So you don't want that. I disagree with what I said there. What we want is natural healing, healing that actually heals, not slavery healing. That was a bad approach that I put there. That was a wrong statement. I was trying to be what I felt my parents and others felt we should. I was trying to follow what the law tells you to follow, of letting those do. That is a controlled programming, controlled statement that happened in this page. I apologize for it. I don't accept it. What I accept is natural healing and becoming more health professional or natural health professionals. I have proof of professionals that contradict their health professionals. And I've been able to heal from cancer that would have killed me if I followed their idea of professional health, which was wrong. It would have killed me, or I would be suffering more than I am now. I'm actually healing now. I don't get sick or colds like others do. So I've been doing great. But I still go to the doctor and I confirm it with him, and he's noticed it. They've noticed it. They know that it's helped. I would suggest places with brain therapy things that heal addictions through brain science and chambers that reamp your brain and give oxygen back to it. So I did say that in here, to heal the whole brain. I know personally that I have belief and trust in places like the Eden Wellness Center, or places that are natural, free healing is what I prefer now. But that did help me at the time. I was drawn to it. So you'll get drawn to things and pay for things, and then you'll get drawn to me or people that realize that we can do it freely, and that we can now manifest funds to go to places we feel are needed until we tap into the ability to heal naturally. But I did trust in it, and I do kind of, as long as they do it freely. The chambers heal things. Also, as you think a certain way, your brain heals. Also, reading scriptures enlightens one's mind, and those who believe in fully and read it like others believe you must. I don't know about that. I do know that they have knowledge and insight, but they all just come from the ancient wisdom that is within us. So we don't necessarily need to read necessary scriptures anymore. We just need to become more aware and talk to each other and heal with each other. I also recommend functions medical doctors for full body health. Go to them as well. It's powerful. Here's the reason why scripture reading is so powerful and important. Also, too, it's healing if you have belief in spiritual scriptures reading. That is. But they are spells, and they've been worded and altered to control you to feel a euphorical feeling, to control you to follow it, rather than an unconditional way of healing that I tapped into and realized that ancient texts mentioned to do. The reason why is because many people believe in its words and the power of its words for others. So brain thought actually makes the world provide the healing because of many that have faith and belief in the words through belief in the spiritual connection, with connections with brain thought. So as you read the words, focus on it, its healing powers, focus on the chapter and things that promote the growth of your dreams and desire by putting good first. Or I would say God first. And God is good, so just say good first. Because it's just the energy of good. That's what God is. God is just energy of vibration. Good is what it was meant to be. That's when it turned into God. So when you say good, that is God. The good vibration. Or that's the type of God I follow. It's of good vibration. It's not really a deity. It's just a higher form of us, possibly, or a connection of us. It is just the energy that just listens to us to believe that we know that it can. Follow in teachings that promote to do charity and promote good will to others. Yeah, charity brings more if you have belief that it does, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you not doing it won't. It helps promote others to appreciate you and have a good vibration towards you. And then that's good for your earning more, because then you feel good doing it, and now you get more because you felt good in what you did. So do things that make you feel good in those ways that you know will provide you what you need. So do things that will give you a good feeling, that will give you more of what you need to feel good and heal more. The thing is read it in that way, even if there are things said that talk about wars and fighting and destruction. Focus on the power that is promised by reading to the end. You can do that if you want to do that for the Book of Mormon. That's what they tell you, and that's indoctrination. But do what you feel your heart tells you. Do not follow conditional teachings. But do what you feel is right. Don't take my word for it. Follow your heart. I realize the control agreements are why they put that in there. And if you want to understand more, I can tell you more. But that's just from what I went through. and I don't want others to have to suffer in that way. That's why I tell you, be careful. That is promised by reading to them. Trust in the word that don't. Um, Trust in good vibrational teachings that are unconditional. I've become more unconditional than these conditional teachings I've written in here. Now, anything of any scriptures that promote about abuse or kill, please don't follow that. Anything that promotes to destroy, please have belief in healing, not healing through destruction or abuse. I was waking up at this time, realizing things, but it took me a whole another year to figure this out, to figure out what I was dealing with. It's all about the teachings of healing, is what I would say. The manifestation of prayer is good when it's unconditional energy focus, not to a deity necessarily, but to the connection of all that is good that will listen and help. So the one I follow is Christ's teaching. I follow a higher form of Christ now, but not necessarily worshiping him, just seeing him as a friend, or him, her, or whatever, as a friend of a higher form of me, because that's what they said they were. They're me and I'm them. So it's just a future form of me or a past form of realization of connection that we can tap into, that they knew, that the inner side of me knew, and now I'm waking to do it again. Providing healing and belief in faith. Thinking that someone thinks a certain way about what is being said is not the way to think of that person. Just think as if that person is doing the right things, following the teachings that provide their healing and needs and wants. Let them choose to be what it is they are asking for. Think for them, trust in them, and all things will in fact be there for them. So having a good thoughts of belief for their desired life, even if it's a different belief system. It's about knowing and trusting and belief in one's true hopes and desires of heart. Yeah, I've already said this over and over, but I'm just going to keep reading here. We're getting there. We're almost done. Knowing whatever they choose to think and be will be their future, trusting that what they think and desire is what will be and that they think it will be. Think that someone is thinking in the way that provides their thinking to be. When someone prays that the person will get the help they fully feel need and have belief that person has those things for them, it helps that person achieve better things and in turn provides those things for all also. Think that way, think that they will be able and not just able, that they will be helped, and by you believing and trusting this it becomes true. As you believe in them in the ways of your needs, that also provides your needs at the time as theirs. Thinking this way will make it so. Thought is just thinking the right way of shaping the things you think of, all kinds of thinking, and saying as if all that is said literally and figuratively is a reality. As you feel that is true and trust its truth, and then do the things you know matter to you and others around you, your belief system also can help. If you feel that it will, but make sure you're following your heart and go around when those belief systems fail you. Okay, when those religions fail you or try to do conditional. The reason why belief systems matter is because whenever you followed something that provide growth, it then made that thing happen faster and more. And so it's not really religion, it's belief of something. When you promote good thoughts and ideas and focus on them as reality and don't doubt in others' thoughts of you, but belief in them, and then those who you know do this to believe with you like I do for you. So regardless who I am to you, regardless of if you know me or not, think this idea, and it will help ask and believe, visualize it as a reality, and feel good about it, and see the end result. Draw a picture doesn't need to be perfect unless you want it to be. Do your best and see what you need to see from that, even if stick figure, whatever gets the thought that helps you visualize or see it as reality. Sometimes drawing something over and over makes it more real for you. Then make those drawings your vision board, because those drawings came from you. See yourself as that future. See yourself in that position. See yourself with the person in that way. Belief, it's real. Now see it, feel it now. Then see your future as now. Sometimes it's good to think of as if whatever you did in your past shaped your future, and something that happened in the past shaped others' future too. And whatever um, did helped all that belief, and whatever it was provided the need you really want and need right now. Think all your wants and needs are needs. Um, so requirements that matter, because to you they matter, and that they make you happy, and happiness is a need. It's an Eden. Eden is need. The people are like, what? Eden? EDEN? Need. Just switch the letters around. It's right in there. Happiness is prosperity for all. It promotes growth. So belief in the true wants and what's great is God and the universe shape it into the actual true need of those needs. And so it turns out better than you originally wanted. So people are fighting and getting after me for saying that I'm not for God. I am for peace and healing. So if you try to fight me for God, how about have the God heal me and help me, so I know that that God exists? I do have a belief that there is an energy of healing, peace. And that's the unconditional connection of teaching of healing that I focus on for all that desire it. That is what I focus on for healing. So if you think that there is a good form of belief of a creator God that does that, then don't get after me saying that I don't have that. Don't harm me for that God, because that's not the right God to follow. That's the destruction, enslavement God that you're worshiping, not a healing, peaceful, loving one. And so I don't follow your destructive God. I follow a good, peaceful, healing for all God. Okay? You're following a devilish God. I'm following a healing God. There's a difference, but I'm not following a God. I'm following an energy of belief. If there is a being that is, it forgives me for not accepting its existence, because I know that it's existent in whatever way it is, whatever it is. But I don't know enough. And it knows that I don't know enough, but it knows within me I do. I've had an experience. I know that there's something going on. I know there are beings that want me to know that there is. And as long as they love me and are there and provide, they told me to speak in this way and to tell my truth and let people know to reach out and ask for Jesus to heal. And Jesus will be there to heal. But that Jesus is just a form that can do that. I don't know if they're a deity, and they don't want to be worshipped. They just want to be there to help for those that want help from it, because it cares and it has the abilities to do that. So I've asked it, but it also knows that there are people stopping it from being able to do it, and it's not fully able to because these others are trying to do it, and it would reverse the healing and problem. But it said to, don't worry, we're coming and we're going to correct it with you. But do your part, do what you feel is right, and then when it's time, we'll help. But endure, because you're going to have to endure because of these beings trying to get you to do otherwise. But when you come together in this way that will teach you, do it now so that you'll be able to bring us in faster. But we'll come regardless. But don't just give up and wait for us. Do your part that you feel is needed for you. Follow your heart. Do good. Follow the belief. And I was, and I did, and I got the healing, and I got the answers. But now others are trying to stop that healing and don't want that answers that I got to stay there that way. but I know that I have faith in a healing power. And it just makes it stronger for me because I woke up to it and I realized what's going on. And now I'm letting people know about it. We can stop those controls. We have the power. I thought I had belief in it before, but I do even more now. But I don't have belief in the religion anymore. I do it in more unconditional peace for all people, all beings. We're free. We're okay. There are also people who shape things, and so many of us hurt people without remembering or noticing, and when we hear others hurt someone, when we want vengeance or justice for that. There are also people who shape things and cause those things to be worse than what they were, to lie and get people to feel that it was something that it wasn't, or it shapes into that as we keep going after one another back and forth. So it ends up in our minds. We keep doing this cycle, and then all we need to do is forgive in one another, forgive the feelings and attacks others do to us. Be understanding, and even if they are clever and get others to do it to us or manipulate and thoughts of our friends and people around us, people end up not sure who to have belief in, who is right and who is wrong. When we point out things to others, that their voice is tense and that they are mad when they don't think they are, when we point out the things to others that they don't have something that's our doubt and our feelings of distrust in them, we don't believe that they are successful, or we don't have belief that they are able, or we think wrongly of them, or even if the current observation is true, it's true, still providing the focus on what we don't want for them or for us. By pointing out those things and saying that it's their fault, it's that way, it becomes their fault, even if it may not be. So we need to forgive ourselves for the doubts we have for each other and realize what really matters is to heal in the way they feel is healing is helping, and not ignoring that, and then still provide for them or bless them in the way they want blessings in. Not in the way you think blessings are, but in the way they feel blessings were required for them. And those that don't do that, just bless them for what you know can be blessed, that is unconditional. In your way of acceptance of blessings, okay, for them, okay? And when we do that in our own individual belief of okayness, it'll be okay and it helps. So there we go there. Okay, I'm almost done here. So as we change that thought about them and about us and all around us, it provides a benefit of the doubt scenario. It provides the belief that whatever is going on isn't going to stay there. That is just a current issue that doesn't exist in your mind or theirs. It just means we are changing into what is. And forgive that. When they die, they'll understand your feelings, because now they're in a realm that understands your full spirit and what you've gone through. And now you're free and you're okay. So we should always change our mind back to believe, trusting that whatever is going on, whatever the situation, that is just a thing that happened, not something that keeps on happening. Knowing that what we heard or thought about something is a certain way and not the way that was seen or mentioned helps us think in the way that can make it change. So thinking in the way you want it to be, not in the way that it is. So basically, a storm is raging. All you have to do is tell the storm to stop. I like that analogy that Christ mentioned, or was said to have said. But whoever the original one that brought it up, I give credit and appreciate that being for it. Whoever it is, you, even if they accidentally did it, you have, and I just heard it's you. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we're all each other. It's us. It's all of us that realized it. You have the power to calm the storm, and you have the power to heal you and to help heal others also. You have the power to be truly able to follow through with whatever is needed. And all it is would be to make up the lack another may have in that faith or in that situation. It's letting them choose their path, but belief that whatever they think belief will get them the in the best solution right now. So keep doing the next right thing. Not later, not tomorrow, not years from now, but now. Their mind, your mind, all our minds are all about having faith in the future as the present, not the present as the past problems, but the past benefits into shaping the future into today. So whatever happened in the past creates the future that we want to be happen today, to already have occurred. For the best desire and hope and dream you and others have always wanted. By thinking others and yourself have in fact achieved all that we are meant to achieve, it helps us get closer to its goal of achievement. It helps us heal our addictions, our sins get forgiven. Our life becomes all of our desires and dreams. All our damaged understandings become healed, and our ears and eyes finally see the future is now. Through this concept of belief of a full healing of our lives into the ultimate reality goal forever and always. That is how it is. Your life is how you would like it to be. And for me, I know and see it as a reality for you. I myself see my reality for me. So in our minds and in our hearts, we achieve and become the fullness of our life, the way we know it to be. As we see that for others, end up doing the same for us. Okay, so my ending statement chapter to all. Listen to the CD to know my ending statement with more detail and its meaning more. Either way, here is the statement below. I ask you to do the same for me as I state to you, and thank you for all that do. So whatever you desire and have belief, I have belief you have achieved. So I've changed it from believe to belief, because what belief is I'm going to bring up what belief is. So belief is your belief in yourself. You are a belief of your heart. You are a belief of your soul. You are a belief. You are a leaf. Be a leaf. Be a leaf on the wind is something I've heard that some of you may have, but I'm going to bring it up in a different analogy. Be a leaf that flows the direction you want and is able to be lightly and easily without being destroyed or being flown into danger. It is just be a leaf of growth, and then to flow through things easy and fly and heal and create what you want. And then when you are ready to be done and to become a new form, you go into the soil or wherever it is, and it plants and grows into a new form of life. It dissolves and it gives nourishment to the new forms to be a new form of being. And so it creates new life or new soil or new creation to be a new form, and then grows into a bigger form and more and more and more. So it's about becoming better and more than what we've always been. So just know that whatever you desire, your desires of your vision boards, your goals, they already have happened. Focus on that, see that, feel it. Ask for the breath of life to heal you, and you are healed. You're good to go. You're taken care of. You are now amazing. Okay, so that's it. So I will do another recording on manifestation techniques when I have the energy to do it and have the healing. Right now I need to heal and get my energy up. So manifest in belief and pray for me, for those that pray, to a higher form or to yourself inside. Just think, feel, and good. Your thoughts and your words and your mentioning to people are prayers. their energy. You're creating reality with what you say, what you think, and what you tell people and get people to think and agree with. So get rid of the pain, heal the pain, acknowledge the pain, but then heal it and get rid of it by blessing it into being what you want it to be. Follow your path. Learn. Be drawn to things. Learn from it. And don't let yourself be what you have felt has affected you, or learn from what you feel is and become better. There are times that I've had loops where I lost my faith and I got back to the faith and I lost it again because people were not helping me with things that I noticed helped me. And I thought it was in great reward of that belief. And then I realized that that belief was hiding it. And so it was another form of belief that helped give me the knowledge of healing. And then it helped me realize that it's really just belief in finding answers. It's not about a religion. It's about becoming yourself. If there is a real way of belief in things, it's more of just not necessarily religion. It's a creation of energy to learning, a philosophy, a science form of energy that religion spawned off from. And then they lost their ways and controls through money and control. But some have done good ways of good, thinking they're doing it for a certain creation of being, but it's really an unconditional way, and they kind of know it. They just are so used to doing the ways that they think the texts need to be followed in. I want to thank all who helped me or gave me insight. Mostly I give credit to the friends and family who put up with me and those who encouraged me to write this. Even if they don't agree with everything I felt it needed to be written so that others can know what I saw and experienced. I'm about unconditional love and appreciation to all. Even if it has to be a distance, it's better to promote love and belief for people's dreams of life than not to. I feel amazing now that for people's dreams of life than not to. I feel amazing now that my dream has come true. Believe in me as I believe in you. Thank you all who feel they help in prayer on this and other insights that are in the book. Everyone that feels that need to be noticed, I and many others do have belief in you. I encourage you to do your own book or do your own process of creation of your dream. Thank you all for your time. As you think becomes, as you have belief, as you focus on something with real intent, it becomes created into your reality and the reality of others. I have belief that the good we all wish are for our creations of our dreams. Best hopes and wishes to come true instantly. Samuel Stephen Durbitz. I'm gonna end with telling you that our belief is strong. We are all healed. We are provided with a healing power. I don't follow religion anymore. I'm about unconditional healing now. I'm a minister of the ulc.org. I also have a Jedi Knight certificate I got from them that I got drawn to that because I was looking for a Jedi Knight religion idea that believed in that we are all energy. But I believe that we can still marry and we don't need to not have sex or do those things. I think that there is a power within us that we can be whatever we want, and it's okay to do all the things we feel drawn to do. We are amazing. We are powerful. We are able to do amazing things. We are able to do a lot of things. We have power. We have greatness. We have amazing abilities. So that is how this works. That is how this direction and power is. We are important. We are powerful. We are amazing. We are energy healers. All of us can do what we want and create our reality. Do that with me. Call me. My phone number is 801 499 4494. I do block calls for if I don't know what it is, so don't worry about it. Just try to reach me and bless and comment me if you're having trouble with that. If I know the phone number, then I can let it come in. Also, I do this due to scams and other people out there that are going that vibration direction. I follow a peaceful vibration of healing that's free. I also believe that we can freely make things happen, even if we can't freely get a hold of each other. So let's do what we can. Yes, calling me may cost money for you, and that's your choice. I hope it doesn't. If you have unlimited call like I do, then to me it's free when you do it that way. But for those that need to reach me in other ways, comment to me on my channel or whatever if you're able to do that, okay? Because I will help you the best way I can that way. I'll just do my own video for you if you ask me to. But I won't do anything I don't feel comfortable doing, but I will do it in a way of that way. But when we come together and you find people that can do it with you for free in that way, then there you go. Or if you can't do it for free, then you do it my way. This is the best free way that I've seen other people be able to do. Free, not three, not sexual. Anyway, so I'm telling you, let's be there for each other. There is ways that you can manifest in those ways too, or people have YouTube channels where they've done sexual manifestation. That I understand helps for those that can do that. Women are able to do that a lot easier. Men have to do it with women that agree with doing it that way for them. And then when you have it with them and you become equals, you can do it that way too. So I've learned more unconditional ways of doing things, and I don't judge anymore. I just do it the way that I feel comfortable doing it in, as long as it's safe for me and provides healing. So there you go. So now I'm going to do 4 different recordings to sum up this book. The first recording will be to bring up the book and to get the book chapters being introduced and what I'm about and what people are about to hear. Then the next recording will be me bringing up a new form of knowledge, and that will be me bringing up the dreams that I've had and experiences that I feel need to be told. Okay? That will be for the after all these chapters. That will, and you can listen to that on your own, but that will be as well. That will be a video for creating a reality of creation that I know needs to be created. So I'm going to do those recordings first, or you'll have those uploaded first to show that that's what I have ended up realizing and doing. Then what I will do is I will link all the videos together when I have them all uploaded, and then you'll have the chapter connections to connect with and listen to. Yes, they are a lot to hear. There's a lot of information to hear. Now, I'm doing it from the heart, though. Now, the next thing is these new videos are going to be shorter, and they're meant to be what I feel is shorter than what I've done, or more from the heart of what direction I now am going to go towards. Now, those recordings will be things that are very powerful and very intuitive and very interesting. So I'll have the dreams mentioned and what I've witnessed and what I know from these times I wrote the book and what I'm doing now. Then I'm going to do a manifestation teaching of something else. And what that's going to be is I'm going to bring up something even more powerful. I'm going to bring up a manifestation technique that helps us heal each other. And that will be to get us funds so that if you want to get over addictions, you can go to Theta Wellness and places that cure those addictions. So you don't have to do those harmful things to yourself and to others around you that get harmed from your rat poison in your cigarettes and from your other issues that are happening in control programs and nanotech that they put in those things to mind control you and dumb you down from being able to fully heal. But don't worry and fear this. Heal and go natural as best as you can. If you can't go natural because you don't think you have the funds to do it, then that's why we manifest the funds, why, and the healing for the funds. And then you can go do those healings and get drawn to it. So there you go. Then you don't have to worry about each other. It's about healing, forgiveness, and understanding. You don't need to justify why you're doing what you're doing. That's fine. You're doing what you felt is needed. And if you want to live that life and stay controlled, that's fine. That's your path. I don't judge you. That's your path. That's what you think you have to do. But I don't want that. I don't need that. I've dealt with enough pain and suffering from it. So I need to manifest. So pray for me and think for me so I can get away from that painful problems that I know is happening from it. I don't want your lifestyle because that lifestyle has killed me and harmed me and has abused me. I don't need that. You may feel like you have to live in that abuse, but I don't. And I forgive you and I love you and I bless you and I want you to follow what you feel is okay for you. Again, you may take this irritated or hurtful, but I'm not meaning it that way. I'm doing it for my heart to heal us all. So the next thing I would recommend is then I'm going to have the next video about those dreams I had of experiences and things that I was shown and given intuitive information or astral projected or remote viewed or someone giving me intel, maybe HCTs, maybe other programs that are good, telling me insight. I don't ignore the insight, even if it's misdirection insight. It's insight that I don't think is. I think they tell you things and then they get you to think it's misdirection when it's real in some form. And so people get confused and lost because then others try to say it's misdirection and puts you away from the truth to get you to be thrown off. So I don't trust anybody's insight. I trust my own heart. And then I trust and let you follow yours. And then the insight. And then I bless you for manifesting your reality. So we don't have to worry about all that crap anymore. We can just heal and create and stop the misdirection and the problems and attacks, regardless where they're coming from and why. Stop playing the games and start healing. Stop thinking that you'll be targeted and hurt. Even if you are, you'll be okay and you'll be healed. That's what we want to focus on. That's what we want to do. I feel like even if I die, even though I know that things are being targeted in there and we need certain things, I'm doing my part, but I do need help. And I am asking for others to meditate with me. If that doesn't happen, I know I'll be okay whatever happens. But I will be in pain until I find a way not to be in pain. And so we are healing, and I do what I can for that. So there we go. I'm done. Man, this has given me a lot to tell. I've had programs trying to mess with my health and my focus to tell this story, headaches and other issues and neck aches recently for this last part. But I know that I've healed and told all that needed to be told. And now heal me and bless me. It's all done. Now I'm going to do the 3-4 videos that I feel are needed to the one that introduce all of these. And then, so I'm going to upload the last chapters to the first so that the last posting is what is posted the most recent to connect all of these recordings as one. So that's going to be awesome. Then what I'm going to do next is we're going to then do a new form of uploads and I'm going to be excited for those uploads. Will be after I've done the dreams and showing the sketches of those dreams and experiences that needed to be said and brought up for everybody's intel. I'm going to bring up stuff that is going to be strange, that I'm never brought up in the book, that I kind of did in the CD or this audio book that is basically the CD, but I never did a CD. So this is that CD. I did other videos that said they were, but this is the real updated version and the more important one that gives you all my insight. Now, I'm going to do these new insights that are beyond the book that are the most important information, okay? They are huge. This is the huge info. And so this one will be me talking about the sketches and all that stuff. And then after I do that, then I'll do the healing information of my dream desired life that I prefer to focus on the most after that. And then I will do a healing, general healing session of teaching with that. And so that will be the 3. So we got 4 coming up after this, but they will upload with the messaging after all the chapters have been told. But these last uploads will be the most important uploads that give you really good insight to everything that's really going on. So I'll upload these first. And then I'll upload the chapters from the latest to the first, and so that I can link them up, because that's the way that my system works. Or if I have to switch it around, I'll switch it around, and you'll notice. Well, I'll figure it out. But anyway, I care about you. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for your time and your patience. Let's get this done. And there you go. We're set. Bless you all. And those that want to reach me, my phone number again is 801-499-4494, or my phone number is for use to help people as a minister. Also, you can email me at durbidgesamuel@gmail.com. Ask me information. I can help you and meditate with you, or help tell you how and what to do for those that want to. Those that don't, and if no one does, that's fine. I've done what I feel I needed to do. I reached out in the way that I needed to reach out. And I know that this is awesome information and it was important to be told. And now I'm just going to leave it as that. And then when I feel I need to, I'll tell it. And I'm just not going to worry too much. I'm just going to follow my heart and pray and meditate and trust. Now, the next thing that I know is necessary is I needed to mention all of this. And now we're going to go on to the new form. But the more I bring this up, the more disclosure happens. But this time, full disclosure can happen, because I brought up all the info, and I'm going to bring up some more info that will fully wake us all up to it, and any other future dream awarenesses. So I love you. I appreciate you. We're free. We're okay. You're blessed. Again, there we go. So thank you for everything, and I appreciate all of you. And this was my legacy of what I felt I needed to do by the higher form since 2017, of what that being told me to do. And I feel that it's going to happen the way that exactly like I promised. And if not, then at least I'll be able to rest. And so hopefully we can all do that. But if we don't do something, then it could happen to you. If lacking of needs for me happen to me, it will, you're next is what they'll target. And they're already targeting you. So that's why we need to come together. If you don't, then it's possible that because of the lack of that, we're going to have that problem of the connection. But it's okay. We're going to figure it out, and we're going to do what's needed. But now I've done what I needed to do. I read all the chapters the way I felt I needed to read them in, from my heart, authenticness, and being the full me, and I'm so excited. It's going to be awesome. So now I just need to heal here, take care of my pains, eat the foods and things that I feel I need to, and we're good to go.